February 2019 will see a ton of new Netflix content, with exciting new releases in every major genre. We've rounded up the best of the best to showcase everything great coming to Netflix in February 2019. Natasha Lyonne of Orange is the New Black produced and stars in Russian Doll, a series about a woman forced to relive the night of a big party over and over again, an experience which is always rudely interrupted by her death. Forget the obvious similarity to Happy Death Day, the always entertaining Lyonne told The Hollywood Reporter, "It's an autobiography wrapped in a mind-bending concept. I'm 100% in there and most definitely the architect of the whole thing. The show not only sports a deadpan sense of humor, but has the potential to get very interesting very quickly, and the first season drops on February 1st. The third feature from Nightcrawler director Dan Gilroy reunites him with that amazing film's lead actors Jake Gyllenhaal and Rene Russo, along with John Malkovich and Toni Collette. It's the story of a Soho art gallery owner and a vicious critic who come into possession of the works of an artist whose recent death is shrouded in mystery, and they soon wish they hadn't.
It's connected to his art.
The flick's insane trailer promises a mind-bending ride, a committed performance from Gyllenhaal, and a bunch of profoundly creepy imagery. This is Gilroy's first foray into flat-out horror, and you can give it a watch on February 1st. The Finnish detective series Bordertown was picked up for international distribution by Netflix after its debut season, which went on to strike a chord with streaming audiences with its dark, compelling storytelling. Fans of shows like The Killing and True Detective will find Bordertown to be a treat. When the first episode of Season 1 aired on Finnish television, it was watched by over 1 million viewers. If you haven't checked out the first batch of episodes, you may want to catch up before Season 2 drops on February 2nd. Screenwriter Tarell Alvin McCraney picked up an Oscar for co-scripting the 2016 Best Picture winner Moonlight. For his next trick, he's giving us High Flying Bird, a fictionalized account of the efforts of a sports agent to salvage the careers of his clients in the wake of the real-life 2011 NBA lockout. Oh, and in the director's chair is Steven Soderbergh, whose recent successes include Logan Lucky and the psychological thriller Unsane. The sports drama is scoring big time with critics. You can give it a shot when it premieres on February 8th. The Break is a Belgian series which follows the attempt of a veteran police detective to escape from his demons by returning to his peaceful, relatively murder-free hometown. But things take a turn for the worse when a body is discovered, leading our protagonist down a sinister path. The first season was well received by critics who appreciated its bleak cinematography and snappy, well-written dialogue. The noirish drama makes its return with Season 2 on February 9th. Daily Show veteran Hasan Minhaj made a splash with the first season of his insightful political comedy series Patriot Act, in which he explores topics relevant to today's society through the filter of his unique comedic sensibility. Each episode focuses on a single topic, which Minhaj delves into through a combination of stand-up, interviews, and on-location segments. Minhaj's cutting yet thoughtful brand of political humor is perhaps something we can all use more of right now, and Season 2 of Patriot Act will give us that when it drops on February 10th. The Breaker-Uppers is a comedy film from New Zealand with Thor Ragnarok director Taika Waititi involved as an executive producer.
Look at this world of amazement. What's through here, through this door? Oh, Australia.
Sammy and Jackie Van Beek, directors of The Breaker-Uppers, came into Waititi's orbit when they appeared as actors in his features What We Do in the Shadows and Eagle vs. Shark. In addition to directing, the pair also star as cynical friends who go into business breaking up couples for profit.
I'm sorry, Jeff, it's over.
What? The film scored with critics when it made the festival rounds, and it will likely score with you when it hits the small screen on February 15th. Based on a Dark Horse comic book series created by Gerard Way, the original series, The Umbrella Academy, follows a group of children with otherworldly powers who are all born simultaneously on the same day in 1989. Brought together in their teen years by a mysterious billionaire, they all regroup 17 years later, upon their benefactor's death, in an attempt to get to the bottom of the events surrounding his passing. Get ready for superpowered intrigue when the first season drops on February 15th. This violent period piece from Korea explores the rise of a petty crook from Busan who ups his game by diving into the Asian narcotics trade of the 1970s. Eventually, he becomes, you guessed it, a drug king, struggling to hold his place atop his organization while pouring a steady stream of contraband into Japan and keeping up a front as a benevolent community leader. Look for it on February 21st. Paddleton is a sophomore feature from director Alex Lehman and stars co-writer Mark Duplass alongside Ray Romano as odd couple neighbors who develop an unlikely friendship. Their bond is quickly put to the test, however, when one of them receives a terminal cancer diagnosis. The flick absolutely wowed critics on the festival circuit, with Romano's performance in particular being singled out for praise.
What's the worst case scenario? What's the worst case scenario? We run out of gas here. Next thing you know, we're drinking our urine.
You'll definitely want to check out Paddleton when it makes its streaming debut on February 22nd. There's more than meets the eye to the French drama Paris Is Us, the story of a young woman who returns to her home city. The trailer promises a blurring of the lines between fantasy and reality as our heroine begins to draw parallels between her traumatic recent past and events in the world at large.
It's now that everything is possible, even if this life may be just a dream.
The Kickstarter-funded project was shot between 2014 and 2017 before being picked up by Netflix. Paris has not been resting easy as of late, and this incorporates some real-world tension into its rather trippy narrative. You can check it out on February 22nd. Suburra is a gritty Italian crime series centered on a seaside town near Rome, which various interested parties have designs on turning into a gambling resort. Coming into conflict with each other over these plans are a prominent Roman family, a slew of corrupt politicians, the Catholic Church, and the Mafia. The series' first season drew favorable comparisons with The Wire, and was widely praised for its stark tone and thriller-esque pacing. Profane, raw, and violent, it's been called the kind of show that grabs your attention and doesn't let go. Perfect for binge-watching. Season 2 premieres on February 22nd. There are a few choice selections for thriller fans in February, most notably the first installment of the long-running Final Destination series. That arrives with the entirety of the Jaws franchise, from Steven Spielberg's benchmark-setting original to Jaws: The Revenge, a feature that regularly winds up in discussion of the worst films of all time.
Damn passengers, you're all the same. Complain, complain. Oh,
Those show up on the 1st, alongside a number of beloved comedies. Starting this month, look for the warm Hugh Grant vehicle About a Boy and the first 3 American Pie movies. Later in the month, Steve Carell's breakout film The 40-Year-Old Virgin arrives on the 16th, followed by the comedy drama Our Idiot Brother on the 26th. Only a pair of new drama offerings are making their way to Netflix this month, but they're both well worth a watch. 2016's The Edge of 17 features burgeoning star Haley Steinfeld in a thoughtful coming-of-age drama and drops on the 1st. And on the 6th, look for 2009's The Soloist starring Robert Downey Jr. as a newspaper columnist who becomes unlikely friends with a blind violinist played by Jamie Foxx. Finally, Netflix is premiering 3 new original comedy specials in February. On the 5th, Ray Romano returns to New York's famed Comedy Cellar after 23 years to deliver a new stand-up set in Right Here, Around the Corner. Kevin Hart examines the contributions of African Americans through his uniquely cracked lens in a new special available on the 8th. And the hilarious Ken Jeong delivers a Valentine's Day set of silliness in his first Netflix special on the 14th.
You can't do that. Have you met me?
Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more Looper videos about your favorite stuff are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.